So all us people who funded War for Cybertron HasLab UNICRON got an email today with our first ever production update. Not much really here to talk about. Pretty much telling the whole story of who Unicron is, how many pieces are being used, what kind of plastics are being used, and how many molds it's going to take to do all of this. And I mean, it's no surprise that this guy's going to have tons of pieces, and according to them here, 59 different tools or tooling of molds and stuff that are going to have to be used. I mean, anyone that's ever built like a perfect grade Gundam model kit, which is like the 1/60 scale crazy, like the high-end Gundam model kits, they see all those sprues and all those separate, layers of tooling, and they know exactly what we're talking about here. Now, granted, of course, in the case of Gundam model kits, a lot of them is the same kind of plastisol plastic. In this case, it's using a whole bunch of different plastics because this is a transformer. There is a lot of joints that need to be considered, and of course, all those little sharp edges that Unicronian ring must have. I mean, I don't know how they're going to go about that. But we do have a little bit of insight here. This does confirm a few things. Number one, when we talked about the Galvatron and Hot Rod figure, or Rodimus, and how last time we saw a magazine scan, it was pretty clear that they changed up the design and went for something that was more Generation 1 accurate than the stand-in, I guess we'll call it Titan Returns stand-in figures that they did before. They mention here that the Galvatron and Hot Rod Slug figures, now for people who don't know what Slug is a slang term for rubbery material or small rubbery material for figures and stuff. It comes from the best way to look it up is, I mean, there was a toy line, I want to say it was about 3 or 4 years ago, that was in retail called Slug Zombies, and it was like the little Kenkishi muscle kind of sized figures and stuff. It's kind of, that's what Slug is kind of associated with, but it's essentially small rubber figures. So that pretty much confirms that this small Galvatron and this small Hot Rod are going to be done in that rubbery kind of small material. And then they listed here as the Ark ship, but it's not an Ark ship. It's the ship that was used essentially to get away from the Decepticons in the '86 movie and stuff. I almost kind of wish they had like the crazy Quintessonian ship that went through Unicron's eye. I think that would have been more appropriate. But hey, whatever. They want to use this one. Works for me. It's yet another crazy thing that could have been added later, I guess. But yeah, again, not much really here. I mean, there's a video accompanying stuff, just pretty much showing him getting taken apart and then planning out the tooling and, showing how tooling is done for people that aren't familiar with that. We kind of get to see, if you kind of pause the video, all the patents and all the patent pieces and the modeling and stuff and how the tooling is going to be done. Yeah, it is what it is. But again, it's one of many probably production update videos and segments we're going to be getting in the future, because from what we're told, and this is kind of crazy when we think about how much we paid, from what we're told, we're not going to be seeing anything until 2021. So we're going to go a whole year not even getting this thing in hand, just being teased with probably all these updates and photos. But hey, it is what it is. I know that I threw my money in on this. Still feeling it. Still feeling it. Ugh, it's like a sore. Anyways, it is what it is. So again, at least we have some information here. So we know that the little figures are going to be rubber. We know that they're using different plastics. We kind of guessed that already. And we know that the shuttle is going to be done of a plastic instead of the rubber. And it confirms that it's a Generation 1 design for the Galvatron and the Hot Rod, even though the magazine scan from a couple weeks ago confirmed that anyways. But yeah, that's it. That's all really that can be said. Hey, Unicron, you know that we're going to be talking more about this. I'm going to be getting all of these in my email, staring back at me, reminding me of the large amount of money that I spent for this thing. And it better be damn worth it. Because as it stands right now, I mean, there's a lot of these that are going to be kicking around in the secondary market, because it seems like a lot of people bought this, and there's going to be people that probably regretted buying this or need the money. I mean, I see it all the time. Every time a masterpiece comes out, there's always some guy that bought it and then went, you know what, I can't afford it. And, masterpieces, 150, 200, 250, sometimes 300. When we're talking something that's after shipping and everything could be between $700 to $1,000, depending on where the person is in the world, you're going to see a few people that are going to be desperate to sell. So get your wallets ready, secondary market, when Unicron finally does ship, because if you missed out, now you're going to get your chance.